John often thought about the day their mum fell down the stairs and how they were so scared. But that was a year ago now, and it was soon to be Annie's 6th birthday, and she was dreaming about a party with her friends in the garden. Even so, that horrible day was always on his mind. They didn't play the Don't Panic game anymore, but would often talk about the day of the accident and what they did to help their mum by phoning for an ambulance. Children, do you think John and Annie should keep playing the Don't Panic game? A surprise was waiting for John when he got into the classroom on Monday, because his teacher said, "John, the head would like to see you in his office this morning." All kinds of thoughts were going through his head. Was his mum all right? Has his dad had an accident at work? And what about Annie? John was in a panic. He wanted to go straight home to make sure everyone was all right. But he was a sensible boy and went quickly to the head teacher. John knocked on the office door. "Enter," called the head teacher. "Good morning, John. Is something wrong, sir?" said John. "Why, no, John. I have something to ask you about the fire drill we are to have next week. We were wondering if you would like to give a short talk about the time when your mum fell down the stairs and you and Annie phoned the emergency services." "Well, sir," said John, "I don't know what to say. I don't know if I am brave enough to stand up and talk in front of the whole school." "I know," said the head teacher. "It would take a lot of courage. But do you know what, John? Based on what you and Annie did last year, I think you can do it." John was excited, although he was a little scared. But that evening they all had a long talk about it, and John's dad said that being scared was all part of growing up. Mum and Dad said, "We think you should try to overcome your fears and go for it. What do you think, Annie?" And Annie shouted out, "Let's do it!" On the day of the fire drill, the children were all in class getting excited, because beside the fire drill day, it was also the day that special awards were to be given to the students who had made the most progress this year. The award ceremony was a great success, with many children getting certificates for all sorts of achievements, including Annie, who was awarded the girl who tried the hardest in her class. But now came the highlight of the day, the barbecue. It was just about lunchtime, and everybody was in the playground getting hungry, especially when they could smell the sausages and the burgers being cooked. Mr. Robinson, who was Annie's favourite teacher, had been nominated to be the barbecue chef for the day and was looking very smart in his chef's hat and apron. The children were now lining up waiting their turn when a loud clap of thunder made everybody jump. It was then followed by bright lightning flashing across the sky. Everybody was screaming. Then came the pouring rain. Everybody was getting soaking wet and didn't know which way to run. The teachers quickly took control and started to get the children back into the assembly hall. There were lots of wet, hungry and excited children, all talking and shouting at once. Some children were disappointed at missing the barbecue, while others were just glad to be inside, out of the pouring rain, the thunder and lightning, which some children didn't like at all. Children, can you see where John is hiding? Suddenly, a mighty clap of thunder roared down from the skies, followed by a flash of lightning so fierce that it struck a large tree that was in the playing field where they were all waiting to get back into the school. The tree came crashing down, just missing the children, but hitting the barbecue, knocking it over onto the waste bin that contained paper and firelighters, making it burst into flame. Everybody was back inside the school without any casualties. However, the fire was out of control by now, and flames shot up into the sky from the waste bin. If you look, you can see it through the window. It was threatening to spread to the hut that contained the school's sports equipment, so Mr. Thomas rang the fire department by dialing 999, the emergency services. 10 minutes later, the children could hear the sirens on the fire engine that sped into the school's playground and quickly put out the fire, leaving a very sorry-looking barbecue standing in the playing field. But worse than that was the sight of all those lovely sausages and burgers lying around, and the children looking through the window with their mouths watering. Children, I can hear a bird. Can you see it? After all the commotion had settled down, it was time for John to give his talk on how to call the emergency services. And while he spoke, they were all busy eating. Because 30 minutes after the firemen had put out the fire, a van pulled up at the school's entrance with a sign on the outside saying, "Pizza," there to deliver food for everybody in the school. Everybody was enjoying themselves now, but John was still a little nervous. Then he remembered what was said a few nights ago. His dad said, "Being scared is all part of growing up, son." So John took a deep breath, overcame his fears, and told everybody about Annie and his experiences when their mum had fallen down the stairs, saying how they phoned 999 and how they spoke to the nice lady and asked her for an ambulance, and how she quickly contacted the paramedics who came and helped their mum. "So," said John, "just like today when we had an emergency situation when lightning caused a fire around the barbecue area and we needed help. Children, I can hear that bird again. Can you see it?" Mr. Thomas dialed 999, and a nice lady probably said, "Hello, emergency services, how can I help you?" Said very clearly, "Hello, my name is Mr. Thomas, and I am the head teacher at Bock School, Bock Hill Road in Worcester. We have a fire in the grounds of the school that could get out of control, and we need the fire service, please." The nice lady would have said, "Is anybody hurt that you might need an ambulance or the police?" Mr. Thomas's reply would have been, "Nope, there are no casualties." As Mr. Thomas was telling the nice lady where our school is, she was telling the firemen, and they were then starting their journey to us without delay. "Emergency room to fire station. Emergency room to fire station. Over." They would have replied, saying, "Fire station to emergency room. Tony Manning speaking. How can we help? Over." "Emergency room to fire station. Box School in Worcester have a fire in their school playing field and need assistance. Over." "Fire station to emergency room. We're on our way. Please make sure that the access to the fire is as clear as possible. Over and out." John continued, As we all know, the firemen arrived very quickly and put out the fire, and now all is well. After his talk had finished, John said thank you to the audience and everybody applauded him. Mr. Thomas came up onto the stage and said to him, "Wait a minute, John. I think you have forgotten something." John looked surprised and wondered if his speech had not been good enough. Mr. Thomas then said to him and the audience, "When telling us your story, you forgot to say how you and your sister Annie were awarded medals for bravery." The audience gave a big "ooh" and another applause. John blushed. He wasn't going to mention that part. Then Mr. Thomas called Annie onto the stage and they showed everyone the picture of them both accepting their awards. Mr. Thomas finished by looking at all of the children and in his most serious head teacher's voice said, "This story is a message to all children. Do you know your address and telephone numbers? And could you phone the emergency services in an emergency like John and Annie did?" When they got home that evening, Annie said to John, "John, do you think we should start playing that Don't Panic game again, just to keep it fresh in our minds?" What do you think we should do, children? Children, can you find Tinkerbell? Remember, in an emergency where you require the police, an ambulance, or the fire service, dial 999 and state clearly what service you require. Is it fire, police, or ambulance? If you would like to read this story to your children, or maybe get them to read it to you, click on to Don't Panic, the storybook. If you have enjoyed this story, click on to Book 3, the Police Service.